I'm RyanGetFit and you're listening to the Black Connect podcast.
So you're live right now.
I'm live on TikTok right now, yeah.
Everything live.
That's interesting.
I do consistent lives on every Saturday and every Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Bill's following, you'd be surprised. And
We can't go.
I've €4 donated to me so far.
Yeah.
That's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start. I've only been doing it every the last 3 weeks, so.
Yeah.
That's really good though. Getting
Can
into
we go
it.
live on TikTok?
I think we can.
Yeah,
I think I
Instagram
saw a
and TikTok
notification that
lives.
we can.
It's good for growth, like.
Yeah.
We
You
can't
know
go
what I mean?
live on TikTok yet.
I think we can.
Can we?
Of course
yeah,
you can.
Yeah.
I thought you have to have like a certain amount of followers.
Wait, how many followers have you got?
100.
I think you might need 1,000 followers.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Damn, it was in my dream. I saw a notification
That
that we're allowed to go live on
No,
TikTok.
I know Instagram, yeah, because anybody can just go live on that. But TikTok, no.
Yeah.
Would you go live on Instagram?
Maybe.
On Instagram, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I guess it's just like randomly, guys ask us questions or something.
Yeah.
It would be embarrassing if nobody asked us
See, that's the thing. You kind of have to get comfortable with that uncomfortableness at the start.
Yeah.
Because like, you'd be surprised as well how many people would stop and watch.
Yeah.
Because usually I never have under 10 or 15.
Oh,
But
really? Oh, that's cool. Oh, I'd be
Be entertaining 10 or 15 people.
you
yeah.
think that.
I'd be so gassed.
No,
I'd be
it does
so
be cool
gassed.
watching. It does be cool seeing. But like sometimes it might stoop down then to 8 or 9. But like, you know,
Yeah.
you get the odd people coming in that are like just, well, I should probably keep all this
Kind of
for-
lurking. Yeah.
for the podcast.
To be honest with you, we kind of just like start talking anyway.
Yeah.
And
We're
then-
most likely already rolling, aren't we? Yeah.
Because we just get the flow and get into the flow of the conversation first.
Into
Yeah.
a conversational stage.
Yeah.
I know what you
And
mean.
Yeah.
then we go on to introduce in our podcast.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it would be weird if we're just like silent and then we're like, okay. Yeah.
How many have you actually done all together?
Episodes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I know we have about 67 episodes on YouTube.
Yeah.
67 on YouTube. And-
But we were
67 already.
yeah on YouTube, yeah. But we weren't showing our face for a good 2 years before
Yeah.
that.
This level of production would really, really help. Do you know what I mean? This
Yeah.
level of production
Yeah.
and what you're doing.
Yeah, it is
definitely.
great, but like we need to start getting funds in as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm in Sweden. I know what you mean by that.
But
Because
yeah.
what you invest into it does tend to come back your way.
Yeah.
Amen.
So, like, I'm getting. Have you ever heard of Team on Craig?
Timon Craig. No.
Do you ever hear Team on Craig? No. It's It's online coaching now. I know there's a serious stigma. Are you looking them up?
No,
There's a
sorry.
I thought you were looking them up. I was like, no, but there's a serious stigma around all that online paying for coaching and everything like that. But like, I paid $2,000 for like one-to-one mentorship
Yeah.
in the area I'm in. But so like, you know,
Yeah.
I really believe like what you put into what you're doing is going to come back to
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I
It's
mean?
an
What are you going to
investment.
prioritize? Your what you want to do and
Yeah.
level that up. Like, look at the boys.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 It's actually incredible.
Yeah, I was having actually a talk with my older brother about this. He was saying like just different kinds of ways that we can go in and try and fund, and then his girlfriend was saying that like you can reach out to like smaller brands and see if they would work with you and everything. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
100%.
Marketing terms as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's in marketing and she's also in marketing. So
Yeah.
she was like, they both kind of like have the same kind of brain. Anytime you guys talk,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is exactly what Heather was saying.
Yeah. But in my head, like lately I've been thinking of like it's so expensive though.
Marketing.
Yeah, it's so expensive. Like just let's just say marketing on like buses, like the tea marketing and
Why do you want that
bus
type of
stops.
marketing? Why don't you just focus on online marketing?
Yeah,
I
that's,
don't
that's
know.
crazy now.
Honestly.
Maybe I don't know.
Honestly, you're better off just focusing on online marketing, starting
Yeah.
off with Facebook ads.
Yeah, we need
Mm.
to even make a Facebook. Yeah.
There's so much room for growth
Yeah.
in the smaller areas at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
like,
true.
even if you were to reach out to a marketing agency,
Mm-hmm.
it would be an investment, but
Yeah. Oh,
like,
just yeah.
it would be an
They're
investment.
expensive.
It would be
Yeah.
$1,000 minimum.
Yeah.
Damn.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to learn. I used to run so like I started off. I've done a lot of different things throughout my life. A lot of different things. So I started off with Spark Source. It was a clothing business that I made, and that had 10K on Instagram. But I was running ads on Shopify, on on Shopify, you're able to run ads through TikTok. So
Yeah.
it kind of bundles all the ad platforms into one,
Yeah.
and then also running them on Instagram. So you can target what you want, followers. Do you know what I mean? When you
Yeah.
start to build followers, you start to build reputation and trust.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like if you were to
That's
just
true.
invest into paying for organically kind of getting followers, because obviously you can buy fake followers,
Yeah.
or you
yeah.
can ask Instagram to advertise it the right way.
Yeah,
So like that's something you should really look into.
that's true. Boosting
Honestly,
content.
everything has to go back into this
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want it
Yeah.
to take off
Yeah.
in the level that I believe it should. And like, look where we are. Like,
That's
you
true.
know what I mean? You have to be a certain person to be willing to come and do something like this.
That's true.
You really
That's
do.
True.
Yeah.
So you just have that in you
Yeah.
already.
I think because in my head, I just see the money that's actually spent on marketing. Like, I think that's how I'm like, trying to find another way, you know. But yeah, online is obviously, you can find ways around it. It's more affordable. So yeah, we definitely have to look into that more.
Yeah. To be honest, yeah, we definitely need to do all of that.
Yeah. But yeah, hola guys, welcome back to Black Connect. This is your host Mel,
And this is your host, Jennifer.
and we're here with Ryan Kelly.
Thank you very much. RyanGetFit on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes.
Really nice to be here, guys. I'm honestly so grateful to have this opportunity to sit here and just experience all this, honest to God. So thank you,
Yeah.
guys. God bless the both of you.
Oh
Having
no,
you
God bless
here.
you too, and welcome back to Ireland.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
nice to be
you're
back.
away. Where were you?
Exactly.
You're away, and you're away.
Yeah, I'm away everywhere. I'm away everywhere at the moment. Yeah. So I was just in Barcelona. It's kind of it's like a business trip and get to see somebody at the same time. But then I'm living in Sweden at the moment and back in Ireland to visit my family. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of pit stops everywhere. But it's it's nice that the pit stops are different countries.
Yeah.
It's nice that life's gotten to that level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sounds exciting. Like, look what you come back to though. Look at the weather.
Do you know what? It's funny though, because wait, did you just come today? Did you
I
not today?
arrived at 10 o'clock this morning. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, like what, 2 from yesterday was nice as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so from
nice.
yesterday, yeah.
I was
it
just
nice.
in Barcelona and my little brother's got a better tan than me, like, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
No, honestly, it was really nice for a good few days. I don't know what happened, but hopefully we get the sun again.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because honestly, you don't even know how depressing it can be sometimes when the weather.
Yeah, you really feel it, like, especially when it was like during the winter time. It's especially towards the end of winter, you kind of feel like, oh gosh.
As
just
winter
dreading
comes
it.
back in, that's when
Yeah,
you can just feel the energy just
deplete.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
sad music
plummets
begins.
down.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
So I'm 22 and I'm currently probably on the best journey so far that I've started in my life. So I moved abroad. At the moment, I'm an electrician working abroad in Sweden, and I'm happy at doing that at this moment in time. But obviously, I want for more in my life. Yeah, just a real normal, ordinary young man that just decided to take some form of risk, and I feel like I'm getting
Yeah.
paid back in dividends now every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm a person of influence. I don't like to say influencer because I just don't. I prefer to say a person of influence to the correct audience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you agree with what I'm saying, I'm more than happy to be a person of influence to you. But I know it's kind of a narrow area, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm working on at the side now, trying to just be that person that I wish was there to help me when I needed it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if somebody can relate then to what I'm putting out, that's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
And obviously, you were saying that you live in Sweden. So, what actually, made you decide to move away from family and move to Sweden? Like, how long is that flight actually?
It's 4 hours. 4
Is it
hours.
4?
3.5 hours, 4 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving to Sweden, right? So all my life it's been Australia, and I feel like
Yeah, I feel like
that's the generic one,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is.
Just I'm gonna get a trade and I'm gonna go to Australia.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like everybody, no, but I'm not gonna lie, that was it until maybe last June, July, August, and then I realized, right, okay, you actually need money to go to Australia, which was what I was lacking at that time, hadn't anything. So I knew that when I finished my apprenticeship, my friend was set up already in Sweden, and he could have gotten me out there, and it was like low setup cost. hold it out for 2 weeks, you get paid then. So Sweden
Wow.
was a part of my path, and I'm actually so happy that that's where I was taken. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like that was not my plan.
Yeah.
My plan was never Sweden, but somehow that's where I've ended up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And right now we're at the stage I'm at with everything I'm doing. It just aligns so perfectly. But yeah, Sweden, like everywhere, it's got good and bad parts. When
Yeah.
I arrived there, like you couldn't open the door fully because of the snow, which was cool to experience.
Whoa.
Snow was up to here, like,
Whoa.
do you know what I mean?
It's cold here in Ireland, but geez, that's a drastic
Of course, yeah.
dip in temperature. Like, so these have to have like special boots and stuff.
Yeah. Shovels, boots, everything like that, and just be ready to be cold.
Yeah.
The first night I got there, I arrived at Sweden and I'd worked the next morning. It was like 7 p.m. and I just arrived there after a day of traveling, and I didn't get there in time to get to a shop Sunday to close a little earlier, so I had no heater for my bedroom.
Yeah.
And the next day was the worst day in work I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Shaking in the bed all night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was your
That
first
was a
day?
low point. Yeah, that was my first day in Sweden, yeah.
Damn.
Even I went to Sweden once. Well, I flew into Sweden
you?
to go into Germany.
Layover flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not really. Actually, my family picked me up from the airport in Sweden.
Arlanda, Stockholm.
Yeah.
Okay,
think
that's
so.
where I fly in and out of all the time.
Okay. Yeah. But Sweden quite expensive though.
It is expensive, and I only found out when I got there. But see, the thing is, I don't have to pay for accommodation or transport.
Yeah.
So all I have to pay for, my only expense in Sweden, is the gym and food.
And food.
So
Wait,
Yeah.
you don't have to pay for
transport or accommodation,
how come?
because because I'm an electrician, I have a package. So in the package it includes accommodation, transport, flights, and obviously I get paid.
Wow.
Do you know
So
what I mean?
like, is it the same with electricians here, or is it just?
No, because electricians in Ireland have to pay their own rent. They have to pay, because I'm working with an Irish company living abroad. They have to cover all them expenses. So that's why in my
Wow,
videos I'm like,
yeah.
look, like I didn't even see that these were possibilities.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like you obviously didn't either.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know this was a possibility until a year ago. Not
Yeah.
even a year ago.
Yeah.
So that's a big message that gets a lot of views on the content I post.
Yeah.
These opportunities are available to you if
Yeah.
you do stay consistent and just finish the apprenticeship. Even if it's not for you, I'm clearly somebody that it's not for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But have to use it as a tool at the moment to, get to where I want to get to.
How's it like starting the apprenticeship? Like sometimes when I see apprentices, how do you say the word?
Apprentices. That's brilliant.
When I see like, people like training in their apprenticeship and they come in, let's say into my work and they're fixing something, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah,
as they're
at the
training
start,
in.
At the start, it's the best word that's going to my mind right now to describe it is probably grim. At the start of it, it's
Yeah.
rough because you're not. When I started, I was getting €7.06 an hour.
Huh?
Oh.
€7.06 an hour, and I was traveling from Mullingar to Dublin every day.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Not getting nothing covered.
Yeah.
And like at 17, I was already paying for
That's
rooms. Do you know what I mean?
crazy.
So, yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy at the start. Your circumstances can make it harder, but I think they've raised it up to €9 now, though. So
Here.
yeah, in Ireland, it's now €9 as a first year. But that's as a first year electrician. All
Yeah.
my answers are going to be based off the electrician.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's heavy. You're expected to do a lot for little, and just you're thrown into the deep end straight away. But
Jeez.
it's what I can give you in the end. Like I never seen like the value of what I can give you in the end with it. Be travel, being able to help your family. Like I can confidently help my family and make sure that they're doing good while grinding and working towards what I need to get to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Saving enough money so I can go all in eventually.
Yeah.
So like no matter how bad it gets, because like there's been days where I was like, right, I'm done with this. This is not for me.
Yeah.
This isn't for me. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like I've started so many different things throughout since being a first year. I've started e-commerce, started design and web development, trying to sell websites, started TikTok 2 years ago, and now obviously retook and to give it another try, and it's taken off the way I wanted it to. But I like to think that when you're in your apprenticeship, it just allows you to find yourself because you're forced to think that what is actually for me. You know what I mean? Going from school straight out into a working environment like that is not easy.
Yeah.
Not easy whatsoever.
Yeah, you're actually appreciating the journey
Exactly.
right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
And if I was to say, like, so obviously you said you started at like 17, like straight into like your apprenticeship, was it?
Yeah, so I was just I started it in May and I would have went 18 that May. So yeah,
Okay.
started it straight
Wow.
at 18.
It's very
Ah.
young.
Yeah. And did you have any like idea, not idea, like did you ever just want to go to college or uni or
I'm not going to lie to you, right?
yeah.
I wanted to go study psychology in UL. That was the one thing I wrote down.
What's
But I
UL?
never what?
What's UL?
UL.
University of Limerick.
I was gonna say that.
Sorry.
No.
Same. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't.
Well,
I just didn't say anything.
I don't know anywhere
Sorry,
else.
sorry. No. Yeah, that's fair enough. No, that's fair enough.
So we just roasted us.
Anyways, yes, you wanted to start in UL, okay?
Yeah, I wanted to study. That was one of the things that I was like, it was attracting to me. But I never even paid for the CAO. Didn't have the money. Didn't pay for the CAO. Didn't apply for
Okay.
college. Just didn't. So I just knew that the only thing I had to go make money straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You say you didn't pay for the CA.
you pay
you
for
have
CAO?
to pay for CAOs. You have to pay to apply to go to college. I didn't have the money to go to college. Never mind apply to go to college.
Wait, did you?
I don't remember, to be honest with you, so long ago.
Oh,
But,
Damn.
yes.
oh no, I'm really joking.
It's
I'm going
been a lot.
23 Sunday, so I do feel the pain.
It's on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys! Wish Ryan a happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, I feel like that is definitely the case. I just can't remember. But did you not have like, help out to do that, or are you on your own with that, or
What do you mean?
like obviously I don't want to be rude, but like
No.
like,
As I said, direct.
okay, like you didn't have the money to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like, what about your folks, your parents?
Well, we wouldn't come from the most well-off side of town, and put it that way.
Okay,
You know what I mean? We're not our pockets aren't that full.
Yeah.
That's why there has to be. That's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Because obviously I wanted to get to a place in my life where this is going to make my family abundant. That's like, if you go to my TikTok and you can see I've 3 pinned posts, you have to have a purpose. So my circumstances gave me my purpose to do what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, the money isn't there, and now I know that I have a little brother, and that it's the circumstances will be different.
Yeah.
It will be different, and I
Yeah.
tell him every day, and I will continue to tell him, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, I really agree.
I love that.
But like it is what it is. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's what was my path and has led me to where I am now.
Yeah.
So like I'm not like, it's not something I look back on and I'm like, oh, I wish things were different. No, I don't, because I wouldn't be who I am now. My family
Yeah.
wouldn't be as connected as they are now.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
So-
Like,
sorry.
I know you go. You go ahead.
No, my stuff is just keep going in, but go on. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, since we're starting with family now, do you want to go back? You're from Mullingar. You're not far
Mullingar.
from here.
Sorry.
And yeah, so how is it growing up in Mullingar?
Well, I would have grown up more so just 10, 15 minutes outside of Mullingar in a little smaller town called Castlepollard from 10 onwards. But I lived in Limerick till I was 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I lived in Limerick till I was 10 and then moved back up to family. My mother lost her job in the recession 2009.
Yeah.
Moved back up. And Castlepollard is where I was. And Castlepollard was relatively sheltered from what was going on in Mullingar, if that's one way of putting it.
Okay.
So then when I was 17, just going 17, 18, that's when I would have moved into Mullingar, and that's when I would have gotten, realised, right, okay, this is what's going on out here. But like, I'm so lucky I wasn't so exposed to it from 15, 16, 17, because as I've grown up and I hear other boys, what habits they pick up, it's like 16, 17, 14, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, it always starts at that
What is
age.
going on here?
I think it's getting younger now.
Yeah,
is getting
because like
younger,
I made a video on TikTok, right, and it is 30 days giving up smoking green.
Okay.
My DMs after this, I swear, it was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, like the messages I was getting, ping, 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 ping.
Yeah.
But like that just shines a light on how big this problem is.
Yeah.
Because it's all good and well smoking, having fun or whatever, until next thing you know, it's shit, I've been doing this a
Yeah.
year, and
Yeah.
nothing's really happened in my life,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've put a lot of money into this.
Yeah. Then it starts to become the
You,
norm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's just not it. Like, so what made you start getting into TikTok? What pushed you to want to speak to people and influence people? Like, I know you're also doing your one-to-ones as well for
yeah,
coaching.
yeah.
So do you want to talk to us about that?
Well, you see, I gave up smoking in December 27 and posted my first video that day too. So I feel like a lot of what I've experienced in my life is very, very common amongst lads my age and lads that are younger and it's going to be experienced by them. So I feel like I am more than willing to be the test dummy, if that's the right way to put it.
Testimony?
Test
Oh,
dummy, the
okay.
test dummy,
Yeah.
to take
Oh.
the criticism, because I
Ah.
know that what I'm putting out will reach the right person. But
Oh, okay.
I started TikTok a long time ago and then just picked up smoking consistently, and unfortunately that just led me off my path. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I was
It's
drifting
distracting.
and lost. But now I feel like I have a goal for my life in mind. And I also feel like there is a purpose linked with that. With the goal being set my family free through a purpose, which is helping people, speaking to people. So linking the two of them together, I know giving back eventually will lead me to getting what I want for my family over time.
Yeah.
So there is two sides of it. I love it. It's my purpose, and like the joy I get at the end of a phone call with somebody when they're like, Ryan, thank you so much. You know what I mean? And then we have another one booked next week, and they have their weekly tasks that they have to do for me in order to get progressively better and work towards where they want to get to.
Yeah.
Like that, the joy I get from that is like nothing in my life.
Yeah.
It genuinely is like nothing in my life. So
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose when I wrote down on paper what it is I want to go in life and like what I could do, I've tried different things. They didn't make me happy. It had to be something that made me happy. And like, I'm gonna put it this way: over Christmas, before I moved to Sweden, I spent a month at home with my family,
Yeah.
and it was a great time, right? But this is real and true. I asked God, what do I do with my life? I'm so lost. I don't know what to do with my life. And I was emotional. It was hard. It was a hard little, and I'll always remember this. The next day I posted a video on TikTok and I got 500,000 views.
Wow.
Okay.
And that's not like that's
That was his
that's
answer.
straight facts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you
that
know
was
what I
his
mean?
answer,
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of things have happened in my life to just reimburse me and to let me know that this is where I'm meant to be going.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that.
Yeah.
Fully believe that.
Because even like we're doing the podcast as well, like I know, yeah, we do our banter and then we do our gossip and everything, but then I also just like it's also important to, put out stuff that's substantial, that's gonna actually speak to people, which I really wanted to take advantage of that opportunity today with you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of young men need to hear you,
Yeah.
and they need to hear like, yes, there's someone like me, and there's a lot of men who are lost as well, and they don't know what to do. Even sometimes my guy friends, they'll say like, oh, they're lost, or they feel this, they feel off, or but then they're just like, I'll just wing it out, and I'm like, no, you can't just write it out. Like, it's no, if you're lost, like,
You're drifting.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was so important that you were to come on and to talk about your story.
Thank you.
And to just be that influence,
And that's the most common denominator across everybody in the one-to-one calls.
Yeah.
It's the whole, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what do I do?
Yeah.
And it's the most unspoken about thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody's just going to the pub, coming home, going to work the next morning,
Yeah.
and living it up the same thing
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
Same people, the same, and like, where is the purpose in that?
Yeah.
Where is the purpose in that? And not enough people are coming to terms with it. It's not making them happy, and like that's why like Ireland has suicide is the biggest killer for young men between the ages of 18 and 40 in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
That is
Do you know what I mean? And that's
crazy.
just because I don't want to say like what I'm saying is always opinion, but I just feel like they're not coming to terms with the truth themselves. What's really the truth? Like
Yeah.
ask yourself what like here's one thing I do with the people I coach and talk to one is I get them to become more self-aware first with who they are. So in terms of like what truly makes them happy, where they want to see themselves. Because if you ask and are honest, it's like honesty is the key to all this. If you are to ask yourself where you see yourself in 5 years' time, or 2 years' time, or 1 year's time, being honest, right, will allow you to write, okay, is what you're doing now going to get you there?
Yeah.
And what makes you happy? How do you incorporate what makes you happy and where you want to go in life?
Yeah.
Because if what you're doing every day, number one, isn't making you happy, like life's never going to get better.
No.
There has to be something. And like what I do every day doesn't make me happy, but there is something in my day that does make me happy, and it's making content. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is always going to be also that period of the balance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's, you guys know yourselves. If you
Yeah.
could do this every single day, you just had a new guest on every day, or a new 2 guests on a week, and it was just this,
Yeah.
all focusing this, that is where you two would be the most happiness.
Yeah. Yeah. That is
Yeah.
true.
Definitely work my actual job.
Yeah.
We're not saying too much now. But like, no, that's true. It is definitely just coming here and just meeting new people and meeting new, talking about different things
Yeah.
and
Connecting.
connecting, definitely.
Your
yeah.
guys' purpose is obviously to talk to people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why we're called Black Connect.
Yeah.
Connect with people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was actually really great though,
Yeah.
to be honest, to sit down and just do this.
Yeah.
I think obviously, the way we started off with filming ourselves and editing and everything like that. That becomes draining.
It comes. Yeah.
It is hard.
It was very tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's so many times I'm just like, so many days where we'll come to film and everything, and then I'll be like, I'm tired, bro.
I can't
No,
do this
remember?
anymore.
Yeah.
I remember there was one time I came to you and I was like, Jennifer, I actually don't even want to do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't want to, like,
Yeah.
no.
Just, and especially back then, we weren't seeing a lot of like engagement either.
Yeah.
So that kind of like.
That's so common, do you guys? You know that? Like,
Yeah.
it is common.
Yeah.
And you have to bear and grin it for a while, like, because unless, like, this is one thing I heard, unless you're willing to do it for 10 years, don't start.
Fair enough. We've
Yeah.
been doing it for half of that now.
Have you guys actually been doing it for 5 years?
Yeah.
Consistently.
Okay.
Because that's the only thing that
I think there was a
separates.
year that we were not consistent at all. I think
No.
We didn't even do it at all.
No.
Yeah.
But that's also when our friendship kind of took a toll as well.
Yeah.
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 Life.
Yeah. Life.
Yeah, exactly. So, honestly, like, life,
Life
it
thing.
was lifing.
Yeah.
Life was life and real hard back
Exactly.
then.
Yeah.
But we've definitely overcome a lot of things. And
Yeah. We
I think
grew up.
we grew up, yeah.
Yeah. We grew the F up.
What age are the two of you guys, you might be asking?
I'm 26.
I'm 42.
Okay.
I'm 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I'm 27, but I'll be 28 this year. And are you?
I'll be 27 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, on your path, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Age is just a number.
Yeah.
I go around people.
It's just a number.
Please, don't let the number control you. I'm deadly serious. I could go somewhere and one person might think, I was at a networking event in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Sitting down talking to this guy. We were talking away. I asked, what age do you think I am? 32.
God.
I was like, brother, are you actually serious right now? 32.
I'm trying to humble you.
Bro. Oh, man. I
What the
actually
heck?
didn't
No.
know what to think.
But were you speaking to him already?
Yeah, we were speaking for a few minutes.
I think it's from your wisdom, though. I think it's from your demeanor.
Do you think
Maybe
so?
that's where he's coming from. But yeah.
He had a good excuse. A lot of the people that were at the event were much older.
Oh,
I was
okay.
probably one of the youngest people there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just assumed.
Yeah.
It's
It's crazy.
Assumption
so-
ain't
wild.
getting nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Do you
wild.
think so?
That's
Yeah.
wild.
What age would you guys guess I am?
I would have said 24.
24?
No, definitely over 25, to be honest.
Seriously?
You don't have that look in your face, but just how you
Demeanor.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
No, look, I respect that.
Yeah.
It's for good reasons,
Mature.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
It's for good reasons, obviously.
Oh.
but maybe-
That went over your
Sorry, honestly, sometimes I hear words, but I'm not actually
it doesn't
understanding.
register.
Processing them.
Yeah.
It's very, very bad. Very bad.
But everything you said, um, it sounds purposeful. So how do you stay on the path of being purpose driven?
Melanie with the questions.
That's a great question. So last year was a real kind of putting my eggs in the right basket year, if I'm going to put it in any way. So last year I kicked everything out of my life that was not purposeful until the last one I got rid of was weed in December. That was the hardest one to kick, but organizing your life over time and trying to take distractions out. Unfortunately, that does involve people. That does involve, yeah, unfortunately, it does involve people and narrowing everything down that there can't be anything that's going to distract you or take you off or pull energy out of you. So, in order to stay purposeful, everything I consumed was all for like to keep me aligned with what I wanted. Like literally, if you go onto YouTube right now, one of the most watched YouTubers is called For Purpose Driven Men. Do
Oh,
you
is
know what I mean?
it?
Look, if you look him up, he's one of them. But like everything you consume, if you're not surrounded by the right people right now, which 99% of us weren't, I wasn't. Surround yourself with like what you listen to. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Everything I was
Consuming.
listening to was the Diary of a CEO, Modern Wisdom, Modern Day Stoic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's loads more. The Alex Huberman podcast. You know what I mean? There's so much wisdom out there. So if you're not able to surround yourself physically with it, keep it in your ears. It's going into your mind. You're living it. You're breathing it. A podcast while you're walking around the house. A podcast while I was rolling up. Podcast while I was smoking. That's like last year was so pivotal in development for me. I feel like if I was able to give up smoking earlier, I probably would be further in my career with TikTok. But unfortunately, that's not how it was meant to play out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
staying purpose driven, you have to be very, very critical as to what enters your life because you just have to be so like just write it down what you want and then everything else in your life that you do. So what do you take part in? Who's in your family? Who do you give time to? Does it align with where you're going?
Yeah.
And be critical because it's your life. You know what I mean? You don't owe nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
Whatever you want is at the top of that. People will take and take and take and take, and you have to make sure they're not there taking energy because energy is the most valuable thing out of it all.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
people deplete so much energy out of you, and you won't even realize until you're there after, like, oh my god, I just can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also another reason why I feel like I had to get out of here as well.
Yeah.
I just needed my own energy to build up and be able to exert it into something that was gonna, give me a serious ROI in the end.
Yeah.
So obviously you guys know yourselves that there's work that has to be put in, and unfortunately the money doesn't come through.
Yeah.
But it's not all about that. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So to be purpose driven, what do you want? Write down everything in your life. Everything. What do you do? Work wise, gym wise, people wise, food wise, habit wise. Does it inevitably lead you to the greater goal that you have for your life?
Yeah.
And dream big. Dream big. You only live one life. I'm
Yeah.
dreaming big. I'm going to have all my family taken care of. Not just my mother, not just my brother. I want all of them taken care of.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I think that's kind of how you stay purpose driven. Just be so critical of what's in your life, what you're consuming, what you're watching.
Yeah.
And because the internet's a bad place nowadays.
Of course. Yeah.
And like speaking of what you were consuming, you also started your journey getting closer to God. And how was that? How did you discover God? Like, what was your first encounter?
So the first encounter that sparked something in my mind was
Yeah.
2 years ago. Me and my friend were out in the car late at night. We were smoking, and he just said to me, "Bro, I had to find something to just believe that everything was going to get better." So he was like, I was going to turn to Muslim, I was going to turn to Islam. I was like, whoa. And then he was like, but I turned to Christianity. So my friend is adopted from Russia, but he's Irish, like he's been Irish his whole life, but he's my best friend. He's adopted from Russia and hasn't had the greatest run of it. But he said this to me, and at that stage of my life, this is nearly 2 years ago now. So like I had just started the gym, I was still overweight, very conscious, started to pick up smoking. I was in an unhealthy relationship. didn't have the greatest relationship with everybody in my family, and I was like, if it worked for him, this might work for me. So I think that was what ignited it for me. He said he just bought the Bible one day. The next day in work, right, I bought the Bible, and I went home that day, and on the way home I had to pull over because I couldn't breathe. I was literally having a panic attack, and this never happened to me. Like, it has never ever happened to me in my life. But I literally bought the Bible, went home. On the way home, I had to pull over because like I could not even breathe. But since then, so many things, like what are they called? Like the angel numbers. What are all them little things that happen on your day-to-day basis that you're like, yeah, that's a sign. I forget.
Yeah, those kind of like those coincidental
Yeah,
things.
but there's a I can't think of the word, but there's a definite word.
Signs.
We'll call them signs, right? But some crazy signs started happening that just really were like, right, okay, what have I just opened up here? Do you know what I mean? So it's the best thing I've done in my life. The best thing I've done in my life. I pray daily. I prayed before I came in here. I prayed an hour before I left. I prayed like it's just a habit in my life now. And that's what I mean by habits.
A constant conversation.
It's a constant conversation with God.
Yeah.
And like I prayed leaving Sweden that He'd take care of my family for me while I'm gone. And like as you can see, one of them is here, happy and healthy. Do you know what I mean? And but introducing God to my life was one of the best and the most pivotal things I've ever done. I've ever done. So I know I've read a bit of the Bible. I've finished Genesis. I'm on to the next book, but I haven't read it all, and I want to. I genuinely, I feel it's a lifetime journey though. At the same time,
yeah, you definitely keep rereading it. You know, and as you're rereading, different things stand out in a different way.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, you could read the same verse
and it just
over and over. It could mean something else somewhere else in life.
Exactly. Yeah, like so. Definitely, that's exactly what the Bible is there for. Like, you can open up different books for the stage you are in your life and just continue to read that, you know?
Yeah.
I was going to talk about, like, like our journey as well with Christianity. So I grew up with, being a Christian. I feel like a lot of Black families are, you just go to church every Sunday. And
can I ask in your, but you have a pastor.
We have a pastor.
That's the thing. That's the difference in what makes it and breaks it, I think. As a pastor, you can just relate more to.
They're more like human, like I suppose.
Rather than a priest.
More relatable.
You're right. To be honest with you, because obviously, like, I went to a Catholic school, but so obviously they had the priest and everything, but it just didn't seem like anyone knew anything about him. It was just like everyone just kind of went to mass and everything. So I didn't really relate to that at all. But
no.
Growing up with a pastor, like, I shout out his name, Pastor Derry.
Hey, go Pastor Derry.
Like, we had like an actual relationship with him. Like, if times are tough in our household, like, my mom would definitely go to him, and like there was an actual relationship going on there, and a friendship too. It actually was a family, because our church wasn't the biggest, but it was
small community.
It was a small community. And definitely it was fun growing up, I would say, because there was a lot of kids my age. And then when I started to hit like 16, 17, like I grew up Baptist.
Grew up Baptist, what's that
Baptist.
mean?
So like like this Christianity, but it's like Pentecostal and all that stuff. Like there's different. I don't
Roman Catholic.
Yeah. Like it's different. I don't know how to explain it, but like I grew up in the Baptist church, and so once I hit like 15, 16, all the other kids at my age started to go. They left the church. Maybe their parents will still be there, but they will be gone, because I feel like that was definitely the age of when everyone's like trying to find themselves, so they couldn't find themselves in the church anymore.
Okay.
So then I started to get like I started to be like, do I even want to go to church anymore. Like my friends aren't there
It
anymore.
was getting uncool.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And I think by the age of 18, because I moved to Donegal. I think from there, I just kind of completely drifted off.
Yeah.
So even from 18 to like now, like that's a whole 10 years difference now. I'm still trying to figure out where I fit in
Yeah.
with my whole Christian journey and everything. Like obviously I definitely say I believe in God and everything, because how can you not look at what's around you? But definitely I'm not as strong in my Christian faith as I was before, And
Yeah.
I think that's just to do with allowing a lot of temptation and just so much different things to come into your life that
Yeah.
have then kind of made
Build the
me
distance. Build
yeah
the gap.
exactly
Yeah.
so just wanted to share that.
Do you feel like you'd
That's
be
cool.
ready to maybe develop more of a relationship with God anytime soon?
I'm very much
Actively, like.
yes, open to it, but it's just like this is what I'm saying, where I would say like I'm still at that stage of where I'm, if anything goes wrong, I would more so blame God or anything like for something not going right in my life,
Oh, really?
and I'm
You
still
have to,
at that stage,
yeah. It's looking at the bigger picture though, because
Yeah.
like for flowers to grow, you need rain.
Yeah. We're human. Like
yeah,
God loves us with our imperfection. Like He
Yeah.
loves us even more. Like it's no one's fault.
yeah,
How are you with your Christian journey, Melanie?
So I'm Catholic. So most of like I'm Angolan, so a lot of Angolans are Catholic. So I grew up in Catholic church as well, like just in school as well. My dad used to take me to church every Sunday, me and my sister, and then after church he'd bring us to Pizza Hut.
Ours is KFC.
Yeah, it's placed by KFC now. And it was great. Like my dad was like such a great figure growing up. I'll say like still bringing me to church, and I just still didn't understand a whole lot what was going on in church. I was baptized young, not like as a baby, but I was baptized young. I still remember my godparents. I still remember my god sisters, and but there was still no connection. I just understood that like Jesus loved us, and my mom she had two Portuguese Bibles, so she gave me and my sister the mini ones for the New Testament, and then we had like a a book novel kind of one that had all drawings and the stories and everything. So she would read us that like going to bed. And my mom was a prayerful woman. She always has been. So I'll say like she also taught me how to pray. There's a lot of prayers that like it will always be on my heart. Like anytime I'm praying, it will be there. So that was me growing up, and then I think again, yeah, at the time of like 16, I actually let go of like going to church, and I just got faded into what all the kids are doing and stuff like that.
The
Wanting to
generic habits.
yeah, wanting to fit in and wanting to be, you know, like everyone else. I felt like, oh, everyone else is fine, or this person's actually like getting money and they're living their lives, so
Yeah.
but they're not really going to church, so I don't really need to. But my mom was always going to church, so she started going to church with her friends, and then I started to join her, and then it was just very far to go to, and we didn't have a car, so we couldn't always make it. We were relying on other people to give us a lift. But then I started going to church with them anyways when we could, and I would have wanted to go more, but I was kind of turned off because like there were some people in the church that I knew like what they did outside of church, or how they were
Yes.
outside
Yeah.
of
True
church.
lives here. Who are we
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, the little Hannah Montanas.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even like I think there was a girl as well that was in that church, and she was like she bullied me when I was younger, but she was in the church, like, and she was like heavily
Wow.
into the church.
Mm.
But I knew how she was like on the outside, so I was kind of turned off, but it didn't turn me off of going to church. It was just the whole lift situation.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah, and then again growing up, I think when it came to like actually uni and stuff, I let go again wanting to just fit in, and then I was getting into a relationship, and then God was not in the picture at all in that relationship. Like, God who at that stage. But I did believe in God. I held on to God, and he did help me through, like, even with uni and stuff, because, like, even to this day, I'm like, I should have not, like, I don't know how I did uni with no repeats or anything. I just went through, like, because it was just insane at the time, like. But then I'd say, like, once I finished uni, and it was, yeah, now I have my big girl job and everything, that's when I was like, okay, let's focus. Let's reel everything in. What matters? What's your purpose now? Now you're on your own now, you're in the big
Out in
world.
the big bad world.
Yeah, yeah. So who you gonna lean on? And then I started falling into bad habits. And then it was just like getting to the point where I was like, I'm not finding there's no actual joy from this, like actual long term joy. Like, you can find happiness in the moment, but that's so temporary. So then I was like, okay, no, I need to focus now. I need to focus. And then I still want to be married. I still want children. I still, growing up, I asked God for wisdom all the time. I didn't understand what wisdom was when I was younger.
Situations.
Yeah. Then situations happened. He said, yeah, you want wisdom? Here you go. So he put me through situations. I gained wisdom. And then through that, like, even like if I am to talk to anybody, I will try to, let them know that like, God is very powerful, and like, if you don't have him, like, you need to find him. Just see
You're
how it's
lacking.
like. Yeah, so that's been my journey so far. And within the last, I'd say, 2 or 3 years, I've been like really focused on going to church even more. So I've been happy with that. I'm really happy the church I'm in now, and it's very community based. It's very much about spreading love and helping people, and like a lot of charity work as well, and giving abundantly. So that's been my journey.
That's great.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds great.
yeah.
Would you still consider yourself Catholic or Christian now?
That's funny, actually. I just say Christian.
I say Christian too, and it's
Yeah,
not Catholic is the more common one, isn't it?
yeah,
But I feel like I don't know how you feel, but I just don't align with
yeah,
the way the Catholic Church has
No.
been, and I know that it's not what God would have wanted.
yeah,
But unfortunately, I just feel like what sparked my journey on a super deep level was
Yeah.
Pastor Mike. I don't know if either of you have heard of Pastor Mike in
no.
Birmingham,
I remember
Alabama.
you were telling me
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Uh-huh.
right. But he's a Christian,
Yeah.
and he preaches his Christianity. So Rock City Church, you guys, you should look him up. I'm not
Yeah,
joking.
yeah.
This guy took me from here with my relationship to God to here with my
Yeah.
relationship to God.
He
Just
does a few, like, he sings as well, does he?
yeah, he sings as well. He
Yeah.
literally has songs on Spotify. This guy does everything.
Yeah,
But no, like that's what I mean. Christianity, Catholic is the kind of thing here, but if you just kind of want to understand it a little bit more, I feel like Christianity. But like, there's nothing wrong with being Catholic too. Just
No.
because what was done previous,
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
ago, doesn't mean you have to carry on living with that.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
feel like with being Catholic, or the whole Catholic religion and everything like this is not no way to bash anyone, but I feel like when you are young, obviously you go in, you do mass, and you're even in primary school, it's all you say what is the word?
The Angelus.
I don't know what it's called again. Yeah, and then you have a live-o and everything. That's all very much shoved
live-o.
down
Yeah.
your throat.
I think I remember the theme song.
Yeah.
I remember
Alive!
Like that is very much like shoved down your throat while you're a kid, So I feel like it's something that is equated to like school in a way of like, I don't know how to
Like a
explain.
subject?
Yeah,
More of a
it wasn't
subject?
really like taught in a way of
appreciating it.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
appreciating
Because
it.
at that level, you don't appreciate maths, you don't
No.
appreciate Irish. Why are you going to
Nothing.
appreciate religion?
Exactly, nothing really.
That's a great way. I never thought of that. That's a great way.
So I feel like a lot of people who say they are Catholic and all that stuff, they don't really have a love for the religion. It's what they know.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
kind of just taught, like, the stories. And
Exactly.
Just taught to them.
So I feel like it is quite important to actually go through life in just like different kinds of hurdles in life for you to definitely appreciate religion, whatever that may be, you know, Christianity, Islam, you know, Catholic, you know, I think it definitely, I don't know, in my opinion, I feel like it comes with like age as well.
What do you
You
mean by YouTube appreciates it?
What?
What did you say? YouTube appreciates?
No, I said, what did I say? No, I said, I feel like for you to
Oh, I thought you said
appreciate,
YouTube appreciates it.
for you to appreciate the
okay.
religion, I feel like it comes with more of like age and, you
And
know,
experiences
growing
in
up
life,
and
yeah.
experiences
Yeah.
of life when you're going through certain kinds of hurdles and everything. I feel
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. That's in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
But you're right. That is very true. Because 9 times out of 10, if somebody has a deep connection with God, it's because that they have went through a dark period and realized that, you know, maybe there's nothing bad in letting this in. You know, like
Yeah.
realistically, when I speak to people about it, I'm like what bad can come from this?
Yeah.
What bad can asking, talking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it start off with just being appreciative.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't know how to start prayer, how to start introducing God into your life, I started just appreciating appreciating. Sorry, please. I started by just appreciating what I had at that moment in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Developing prayer and developing a habit of prayer.
Yeah.
And talking to God, like sometimes, you know, with what we do, sometimes before I post a video, I might get a little bit of anxiety or anxiousness, and I'm
Okay.
like, right, okay, when I talk to God straight away, I'm like, God, please remove any of this.
Yeah.
I know that I'm on the path you have for me, and I'm on a path that's going to deliver me and my family to heaven.
Yeah.
It just goes, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it just goes, and I feel so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So practicing prayer, there's nothing bad that can come from it. And in the Bible, it does say, if you ask, you shall receive.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
does, yeah.
And God provides wealth to the correct people. He will
Yeah.
provide somebody that wants to who wants to protect and provide with the amenities to do so.
Yeah.
So
it says
when
your good works will be rewarded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you
It
go.
will.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, like you saying that you are 22 and everything, do you feel like now, obviously, this is like the time in people's lives where they're saying you should go out, make that mistake, da da da. Do you feel like you are missing out on anything? You know?
No, I don't. I don't think I am missing out on anything, because when I was in doing all them sort of things, I never felt good about myself. I always knew that this wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And like in terms of missing out, like it's just what ye say I'm missing out from is the normalized fun. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoy speaking to people. I enjoy talking and creating content, and I enjoy, like, you know, the people that my life has attracted. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I enjoy what has come my way so far.
Yeah.
And no, going out and drinking alcohol or going to festivals or taking drugs, like, it's not, I don't find that in any way that I'm missing out.
Yeah.
In hangovers that last 2 days, in brain fog for a week,
Yeah.
in misalignment. I'm not
Yeah.
missing out whatsoever.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. I'm not missing out, and I'm happy that my life has transitioned into the way it is. Like, I can't say it's fully easy, and I'm not painting a picture. Like, I'm not living the dream right now, but I'm living the steps that have to be taken in order to
Yeah.
get to my dream. You know,
Yeah.
like my videos aren't painting a life that is so beautiful that you know, right now I'm in a building phase like everybody else. I'm in the building phase,
Yeah.
but like I can see what's to come, and that's because my happiness is got from somewhere else, and I'm in full alignment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was a
Yeah.
good way of putting it when you were saying like about the norm, like of saying, oh, like you're missing out on something. But then maybe other people who aren't communicating with people are missing out on communicating with people and talking to people and seeing the bigger picture in life. So that's a good way of putting it, actually. Yeah.
It's the right way to put it. Everybody's opinion on things are all so different, and from all the people I've spoken to, I feel like the most value you can get from life is through traveling people.
Yeah.
You can do a course on this, you can do a course on that. You can do hundreds of different things in life.
Yeah.
But the best way for you to gain correct knowledge is through experience.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's
true.
the second best thing is by speaking to somebody who has experienced it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your network is your network. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's why I go to networking events.
Yeah. So you just put out a TikTok, I think it was today or yesterday. I was gonna ask you, about your purpose in singleness, but I don't know if you're single.
Definitely did not put out a TikTok at all in the last day or two about my purpose and my singleness.
Oh no, not that. But it's no. Let me say it properly. So you put out TikTok, and then it was just like
Solitude.
Yeah, I think it was just about your day and like your trips and like just everything that you've done in the past like couple of weeks.
Okay.
And then there was a girl in it, and then she was like covering her face. So I was like, oh, I wanted to ask, like one of my questions is to ask you like, what's your purpose in your singleness? But I'm like, I don't know if you're single or not to ask you now.
Sorry. There was a purpose in my singleness for a long time, right? And I kept myself away from what I was because I knew that I wasn't the person I needed to be to attract the girl I wanted. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
And I'm not single, but there is somebody that I am investing time into that aligns with everything in my life.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Where she is in alignment, and I feel like there's nothing like getting to know her and incorporating her into my life does not do anything bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like this is also somebody that in my heart, I feel like God has put this person in my life for a reason.
Yeah.
Like we're taking things slow. This person is so focused and driven in their own career. That is also not the norm. Do you know what I mean? That is also something bigger than herself and wants to build something bigger than herself. And through TikTok, I met this girl.
Is
You know what I
it?
mean? So through putting
Everything's
myself
happening
out there,
through TikTok.
yeah.
Yeah.
Through putting myself out there, I met this girl, and like 2 years ago, I don't think I would have been able to meet a girl to this level. And like we've both done a lot of self work.
Yeah.
We've both done a lot of things. You know, neither of us have always been, so
Perfect.
driven, and it's all it's all for a reason. But I don't actually know how to answer that question. I'm single, yes, but not open to getting to know anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
is
Like
that I
that,
don't know how to
yeah.
put it.
Yeah. Girls, he's off the market.
He's off the market. No, but that's a good way of putting it. That's like
So stop with the DMs.
Yes.
No, I'm joking.
No, that's a great way of putting it, to be honest with you. And that's like, it's so refreshing to hear that because people your age just don't talk like that, you know?
You see, that's
They all talk to go on Yash like.
That's the thing. You live two sides to it. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going to sit here and say I wasn't. They haven't went through that period of my life.
Yeah.
I have. But realistically, if you wanted so much, you will make sure that everything is in alignment.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's why, like right now, right, I do have free calls, but I actually only put them to €10 at the weekend, 3 days ago, because I was booked out. People would then not come to some calls. So it's like, right, I am organizing my day for you. And right, I'm about to hit 10,000 followers on TikTok. So I'm like, right, okay, there's proof in the pudding here. I do need to, €10 and fair is fair, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like it is me putting my time out. I have done it for free now for the past 3 months.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do that. And I would have kept going only for there's a lot more bookings now.
Yeah.
And then
It's
there is
racking
a
up
lot
now.
of people then that don't show up too.
Yeah.
So I need someone to have something that they're going to lose in order for them to show up. Because I was happy to do it for free for the next 6 months. I'm getting value from it. I'm practicing what I need to
What you wanna-
practice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's true. So then, yeah, what is it that, what has changed in your definition of like what you'd want in a woman then, since, what you'd wanted in a woman before is different to now,
That's a good question. What I want in a woman is Christianity, someone that's in touch with her faith, in touch with her religion, number one. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's very important in a relationship. And even with the girl I've met now, that's something that we both went and attended ceremony in Spain together.
Yeah, it was nice.
And we both went to church, lit candle, attended a little little kind of festival market stall kind of a thing, and it was really nice. And when you can introduce God into it, it just makes you know that it's a bit more meant to be.
Yeah.
So definitely Christianity. somebody that's confident in themselves and where they want to go, but like, you know, like not everybody can be, and that's okay, like, you know. So just somebody that's, I suppose, wants more in life. Just
Yeah.
wants more in life, isn't into what you said there a few minutes ago, doesn't think that what we'd be doing together is missing out. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That works hard and just is passionate in what they do. If
Yeah.
I sit back and listen and watch what they do, like I'm attracted in their passion. Do you know what I mean? It's their
Yeah.
passion for more attracts me, not because they wear nothing out and it's and then they come home and they go to work and then just like all they want to do is go out and post on Instagram
Yeah.
pictures that, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
not what's for me. But like, don't get me wrong, what is for me and what's not for me doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
yeah.
just all opinion based
Yes.
on what, like,
What you-
as you
for you.
said, what would I be attracted to. But yeah, a girl that's kind of in line with what I'm about for life,
Yeah.
wants just experiences and people, and not fake happiness and fake dopamine and just bullshit that's the devil's throwing at us to keep us distracted.
Yeah.
A bit more in touch with herself.
Yeah.
And I've been blessed that God has put somebody, whether it's forever, whether it's not forever, but God has shown me that there
Yeah.
is girls out there like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Genuinely, because for like when I left Sweden, I was like, I am never going to go near an Irish girl again.
Dang.
You know what I mean? And now I'm like seeing an Irish girl in Barcelona, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
what the hell? So,
wow.
like, my plan this year, this way.
Yeah.
Where I'm going, this way.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
plan was nowhere near as good as the plan God has for me.
Yeah.
Aw. Was it the girl that was on the call?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so cute. Yeah, we're waiting for the wedding invite.
Lord.
I hope she's not watching right now.
Gosh. To be honest, that was quite obvious.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Don't worry about it. It was just obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, obviously there's no pressure. Both of us
Yeah.
are moving in, you know, really focused
Of
on where we're
course,
going
yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
Really focused. That's why you're taking things slow.
Yeah.
And just
That's
going
good.
our own pace. But no, like I like this girl. She's good for me, and
Yeah.
I think I'm good for her. So
Yeah.
Aww.
you know.
That's
We
really
love
cool.
love.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really good. What's been like, what's like good advice that you would give someone who wants to start off then in their journey now?
I would say, starting off in your journey, just don't expect so much so soon.
Yeah.
Be happy with the small little progressive steps that you have to make, because trying to reach for the stars straight away isn't going to get you there. Be happy with what you can achieve in a short amount of time, and don't be disheartened if it might not be what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Just have a bigger goal and break it down into small little steps.
Yeah.
And you can get there. And just be grateful to God for everything that you do have now. Because
Yeah.
if you can just start off with being grateful for what you have now, more things are going to get attracted in your life.
Yeah.
Try to incorporate God into your life, please. And that's one thing I say to like all the young lads I talk to. If you can incorporate God into your life, it's going to make things clearer and make things easier, and you will start to believe that you can achieve, and life will start to prove it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't even need to prove it to yourself, because life's going to show you.
Yeah.
So if you want, like, starting off, it's a long road, personal development,
Yeah, it
self-development, because once you start, I feel like you realize, right, okay, I was down.
Yeah. Yeah. You actually like,
Do you know
whoa.
what I mean? Down bad.
Yeah.
But when you're at the bottom, the only way it goes up.
Yeah, exactly. And then you said that you've been implementing God in your life with the girl that you're seeing now. So how would you say, like, do you have any advice for anyone who wants to implement God into their relationship?
Yeah, well, obviously, if you want to incorporate God into your relationship, find somebody that's obviously open-minded. That's probably one big hack.
Yeah.
One big hack to life is to be open-minded, because you're going to be able to take the value and extract it from what somebody else has to say. If you're not open-minded, I'm not going to be willing to give you both of my ears and fully listen to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
being open-minded, number one, is going to fully allow you to properly connect with somebody, you know. So if you want to introduce Christianity into your relationship, make sure somebody's open-minded, because eventually they'll be able to listen to you. They'll be able to communicate with you, develop a deep relationship, and then if you're already if you already have a big belief, they'll know it from you. You'll have spoken about it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna just. It's not something that you hide. If you're proud, which I'm obviously proud of, it's in my content. You can't really escape it if you want to
Yeah.
get to know me. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you say, how would you deal with temptations, you know, like just naturally as humans, sometimes you think about, I don't know if you still think about the weed, or you still think about like the drinking, or maybe some days you're just kind of like, oh, just temptations of every day. How would you deal with them?
Um, I just remember back to like where I was, like, and where I am now, and just like, do I actually ever want to go back there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. I'm so focused and so confident in where I'm going to get to
Yeah.
that it doesn't entertain me anymore
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
So dealing with temptations, I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I'm not lucky. I'm blessed by God that He's given me the willpower to be able to deal with it in such a good way. You know, so obviously everybody else's willpower is going to be different, but if you can put the time in long enough and prove to yourself, some little things are going to happen that are going to lead you to believe, like, you know, things are changing. Why would I want to go back there?
Yeah.
Remember how you felt when you were
Yeah.
there. Feel, live in the moment and feel. You know what I mean? When you're sitting there hopeless thinking, right, where do I go? And then you've started something and you're like, right, progressively I've seen changes. I'm going to progressively see more changes.
Yeah.
And the longer you do something, like there's this thing that's like, if you start a flight in LA and then you're flying across America to like the two different points and you just tilt the plane 1 degree, like over time that 1 degree is going to be small. But then one plane's going to end up here, one plane's going to end up there, miles apart.
Miles apart.
Over
yeah.
time, you're going to
Yeah.
see such beautiful changes in your life. So just feel where you are at that low and remember it as things are going in your life, and think to yourself when someone's asking you, do you want to go do this? And then maybe a little friend might come out and next thing you know it's 5 o'clock and you're in a kitchen somewhere and it's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want to be at that shit still?
Yeah.
It's not
That's
good for
true.
you. It's not good for you.
Yeah.
Definitely no.
No.
And that's what's happening. And that is exactly what's happening, unfortunately. Like growing up in Mullingar, like going in there at 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah. It's
And you guys know because you're in Dublin, it's the exact same thing.
it's the
Exact
same
same
thing
thing.
constantly
If you want to do
happening.
anything, like, you
I
know,
swear.
tall poppy syndrome is real.
Yeah.
Is real.
What's that called?
Tall poppy syndrome.
Never
Tall
heard of
poppy.
You're standing out of the
Oh,
crowd.
yeah.
Everybody wants to fit in, but if you want to fit in, how do you expect to get different results?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. And I think also, like, it's still kind of like, I don't even know, like, you end up like trying to not engage in certain things, but you know, a lot of things are just shoved in your face, and you know you want to enjoy your life, and you're kind of like, how do you do that with also, you know, staying strong in your Christianity and everything? Like, I don't know.
What way do you describe that you want to enjoy your life? Because if you
fair enough, yeah.
you say what, like, you need to figure out what gives you enjoyment.
Well, for one, I never enjoyed like going out. It's just not for me. Anytime I do go out, I'm just like, I'm bored. I want to go home. I was never into drinking or anything like that. Like, it was just never for me. But I would say, like, I don't know, like going, I don't know, like, what does bring me joy is definitely hanging out with my friends, and mostly our friend group will go to like Weatherspoons and just sit down and we just have a conversation about Lord knows what. We just have a lot of different
rabbit hole.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily us drinking either. We're just sitting there just having a conversation. Yeah, sometimes there might be a drink involved, but no one's ever.
It's not a sin to drink alcohol. You know that. It's a sin to get into a drunken state.
True.
So you can have like a sip or two, but it's, you know, it's each personal preference. I have a glass of wine I'd have a glass of wine with a nice dinner.
Bougie.
No, but like that's what I mean. Life's taking me from the shots and the drinks.
Yeah, now you're drinking a white
Yeah,
Chardonnay.
I'd rather a nice glass of wine with a nice dinner. You know what I mean? And somebody nice with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? What do you get enjoyment from? Like, you cannot sit here and tell me that you don't get enjoyment from this.
Yeah.
And knowing that, you know, you could put so much work, so much more work in to take it to that next level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And what would be for you if you did do that? What would come your way if you did do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can get a lot of enjoyment from life.
Yeah.
And still live the good Christianity way. And I'm telling you that I am living proof of that.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like a lot of people are just, I would just speak for myself anyways, that you kind of feel like if you are going down this path, you're also then getting rid of another part of yourself as well, you know? Like definitely
You're dying.
Yeah, exactly.
A rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just if you're ready for that or not, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. To truly give yourself to something, you have to really be ready for that.
Yeah. There's this artist, his name is Sunday, and Sunday. Yeah, it's like Sunday, but it says DAE at the end. And one of his songs, he says, "I'm alive when I die for me." So when he says that, it just makes me think of like just things that you'll kill off, you'll just stop doing because you know it's not gonna, doesn't make you alive anymore. But when you're alive, when he says alive for me, I know he means like just focusing on God and putting God at the center, putting God first. I feel like that's what he means. Like that's what makes him alive, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I understand. You put the God at the center of everything and you're going to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you really do just put God at the center of everything, you will 100% get the most out of it, I believe. That's why I'm more than happy to incorporate God into my TikTok and my Instagram and, you know, make that be completely a part of the message. And like, you know, like that does come with hate.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna ask, like, has anyone ever like hated on you for it, or you know, any negativity?
have you looked at any of my comments? Any comments on my videos?
No.
Look.
Oh,
There's
gosh.
hate.
Yeah.
There's hate, but it comes with it. I'm just another normal person from Mullingar, and like unfortunately, some people, you know, it's like two birds, right? Say one bird's out flying and one bird's stuck in a cage all day. If that bird comes back into that cage, that bird's gonna be angry and be like, "Bro,
Yeah, hating. Yeah,
it's not gonna be
jealous.
happy with you."
Yeah.
So it comes with it, and as God says, remember, when the world hates you, that it hated me first. So
Yeah.
I'm quite instinct with that. This is just what I have to go through and accept. You know, not everything can be perfect and pretty and beautiful.
Yeah, that's true.
But like, there's the good and the bad. So like, no one would message me directly. Maybe one or two. Do you know what I mean? Like, shut up. Do you know what I mean? But like, there's so many nice comments or not so many nice messages from people. You just don't focus on that. You know, you're never going to receive hate from someone doing better than you.
Yeah.
Realistically, it's
Yeah.
like, bro, respectfully, go back to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back to what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean?
Simple.
Yeah.
You focus on the nice, the positive messages, and the good. You take the good with the bad.
Of course,
when you walk this path of life, it comes this way.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
definitely.
good
We
way
haven't
to-
really received any negativity, except for just racist.
We have.
Racist.
Very
Seriously.
racist.
Oh yeah, but you know what it is, because we've obviously grown up with that. It's just so funny just to see that.
Yeah.
You
it's
don't really
hilarious
take
now.
it as serious, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're a sad person, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like your community though is so much more uplifting. Do you know what I mean?
How
Like,
so?
everybody just respects each other and just. Well, now look, this is my point of view, but
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's a lot more. Like, she's gonna try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Yeah.
I'm supportive.
Do you think so?
No.
No.
No. I don't know.
Right, okay. Yeah, completely gone.
Here in this country, not so much.
No.
I would say we definitely have a big divide of people trying to do it first, and then once they get to that stage, they don't really want to help others get to that stage either.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's a very small community of people who are trying to uplift each other, and I'll say like that would be the people in this room and everything. But
Yeah.
in terms of like, it's because I don't know. I would say like there's not a lot there.
Yeah.
So people are like, once they grab it, they don't want anyone else
They
to.
grab it and they run with it.
Yeah, they
and
run
then
with
that's it. Yeah.
And a lot of people like my age, I would say, like they would also move away just to get like different opportunities as well. Like, so our community isn't so much grounded here
Yeah.
just yet because we're all like mostly first gens and everything. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting
Yeah.
there. I think
Exactly.
once we start to see that like it's okay to, you know, uplift each other
Yeah.
and to put a path out for each other as well,
Yeah.
then we'll be, you know.
And the right people in your
Go on.
life will give you that little bit
Yeah.
of what you need.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of that person that I met, right?
Yeah.
When I was at a stage in my life where there was very minimal amount of people around me supporting me,
Yeah.
right? So I've had my brother, I've had my mother, and they've supported me in whatever walk of life I decide to take.
Yeah.
But then I might have had one or two close friends that were really, you know, supportive. But for somebody then to, you know, reach out and to just be like, you know, really respect and appreciate what you're doing, it's really nice. And I feel like you will get that. You will get that, and the right people will come into your life. Like when you do, just practice a little bit more your faith with God.
Yeah.
You've already that door opened. Open it fully.
Yeah.
Open it fully and watch what other doors are yet to open for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like there's so many situations from opening that door fully to God that have come my way, and even just with people and the correct people. Like through this girl, I've met more people that are. Do you know what I
exactly,
mean?
Yeah. She's
So
opened
the
more
right people are
doors.
there waiting, and the right uplifting people are there waiting for
Yeah.
you. There's just unfortunately in life some things you need to do first before they can come your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing that stood out to me as well was I remember sometimes that I was fasting just because sometimes I'm not feeling like I'm not hearing anything. So I know like during the fasting times I was like I could
Not eating
hear.
food.
Yeah.
I've heard that this is meant to be powerful.
It is definitely.
Yeah. So
Okay.
at the time I did a dry fast, so I wasn't drinking water or anything.
From what time period?
I actually just did 2 days.
Recently.
No, this was last year. And then I did it once this year as well. But it just opened up my ears. Like
To God.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
just you're just more focused and you know you really want it because you're not even like thinking about the food, you know? So I'd say like that's also another thing that would help. If you can do it, you can just try. Even if you did a day.
Yeah.
If you did a day, like the dreams that you have, like the way God will speak to you in your sleep, like yeah, I'd say try it if you
Yeah.
can.
Wow,
Like,
I'm
they-
definitely going to take note of that.
Yeah,
Like it's in the Bible as well, where they say they fasted for 40 days as well.
40
Yeah.
days, 40 nights.
Yeah, and then like people were literally hearing everything, but it was
Yeah.
very clear. The presence of God was very clear. To them,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if I can fast for about 40 days now, but
I'm in the same boat as you.
but definitely give yourself a couple of days even. And
Yeah,
you should. Things might be more clear if you are in a rut as well.
yeah.
Thank you guys. I
Yeah.
appreciate that bit of wisdom from you too. No, I think now I did do a 48-hour fast before, but I wasn't as in touch with God as I am now. So I feel like
Oh yeah.
round 2 is going to go deep.
Put that in
You
the
know what I
mix
mean?
and it's a different story. Yeah,
And it's also good as well, even because like obviously you're into fitness and everything.
Yeah.
And it's also good for your health as well.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
Just
Full
to,
body detox.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel
Just
like
get
it
rid
is.
of any kind of toxins and
Yeah.
everything. So I do think it has so many different beneficials, you know. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh my gosh, Ryan, thank you so much for coming.
Honest to God, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure and a surreal experience for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just from where I started to where, like, even just enjoying little moments like this and
Yeah.
just, you know, it's in alignment. And I hope to God to see loads more from you guys too.
Yeah,
Mm.
we
Really
hope to
do,
see
'cause-
more from you too.
Exactly.
And we hope to see you again here.
Oh,
Yeah.
this would be great in another year's time. You know what I mean? With
That
the
would be
consistency,
cool.
where
Yeah.
things could go
We'll
and what
see
you could do
exactly,
with your
yeah.
life.
Yeah, that
You know what I mean? And don't like just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not possible.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But exactly, like I would say, like obviously, this year, what are we in? Is it May?
It's the end of May.
End of
Yeah,
May.
end of
yeah.
May.
Is it May? It's the end of May.
Almost
I tell you
June.
now, I am half asleep sometimes. But anyways, but from this May, from last May, it's completely different from what we were doing.
Oh yeah.
So I have to definitely look at it in that way, that like
Yeah.
we are not where we were last year,
Yeah.
May.
Good.
Exactly.
You know, so
And you won't be where you are
Yeah.
next
yeah,
year. Do you know what I mean? Now.
yeah,
And like, just girls, honestly, alignment and everything you do,
Yeah.
does it match that? Because
Exactly.
you have something good here,
yeah,
and it could grow so, like, in a way you could never imagine.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
keep the grind going.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
You too, right?
You too.
Thank you.
Do you want to give one last shout out?
To all your socials and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just RyanGetFit on Instagram, on TikTok, and just follow the journey. I'm just another normal lad that wants something better for his life and genuinely believes that he can achieve that. And just like you watching now or listening now, you can do the exact same thing. So if you feel like you relate to me whatsoever, give me a follow and message me if you need any help. Thank you.
Yeah.
And guys, that's been Black Connect. I'm your co-host Jennifer,
And Mel.
and we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah. Ciao.